इस 11 साल के छोटे से सफ़र में, छोटा इसलिए कह रहा हूँ कि बहुत सफ़र बाकी है, हमने यही देखा है कि शिक्षक ही सबसे महत्वपूर्ण हमसफ़र है। जो चीज़ें हमने देखी हैं इस काम से क्या फ़र्क पड़ता है, क्या देख सकते हैं आप, दो तरह की हैं। एक तो कि शिक्षक स्वप्रेरित हो जाते हैं, स्वावलंबन की तरफ बढ़ते हैं, और उसको आप उनके विद्यालय में जाके देख सकते हैं। विद्यालय का माहौल जो है वो शिक्षक के मन को दिखाता है, तो वो पहला फ़र्क देख सकते हैं। और दूसरा फ़र्क तो मुझे लगता है कि उनकी निपुणता में दिखता है कि आप गणित कैसे पढ़ाते हैं, आपका खुद का गणित में किस तरह की समझ है, और उससे आप बच्चे के साथ कैसे काम कर सकते हैं। शिक्षक का स्वप्रेरित होना और इसकी निपुणता में जो फ़र्क हो, वही फ़र्क आप देख सकते हैं। मैंने जिस चुनौती के बारे में बात किया कि शिक्षा में काम करने वाले लोग नहीं हैं, या लोग बहुत कम हैं हमारे देश की जनसंख्या के अनुपात में, तो एक बहुत ही ज़रूरी काम है कि एक ऐसा तबका बन के आए जो कि शिक्षा के बारे में समझ रखे, शिक्षा के बारे में सोचे और शिक्षा में काम करे। तो हमने अपनी छोटी सी कोशिश की है, एक विश्वविद्यालय की स्थापना की है जो केवल शिक्षा के ऊपर काम करता है, शिक्षा और शिक्षा से संबंधित चीज़ों पर। और इससे इरादा यही है कि कुछ तो लोग ऐसे सामने आएं जो शिक्षा पर काम करें, सोचें, समझें, और देश के विभिन्न भागों में जाकर विद्यालयों के साथ और शिक्षा तंत्र के साथ काम करें।
It's a pleasure to reach out to candidates who are in the process of applying to Azim Premji University for their Masters in Development and Masters in Education programs. As you know, it is a university with a clear social purpose, and is sponsored by Azim Premji Foundation. The genesis of the university also is based on the work that the foundation has done in India over the past 12 years. This clear purpose of a just, equitable, humane and sustainable society is something that underscores everything that we do at the foundation, and that includes the university. Therefore, the students whom we really wish for are those who have a clear mind and heart for social change. At the end of their 2 years of MA in Education and MA in Development, we expect that they will go out into the various organizations in the field to contribute to the kind of social development that we all aspire for. The batch that we will admit in 2014 will be the 4th batch. The first batch that we admitted in 2011 graduated in 2013. All of them were placed as their 4th semester came to a close, and the best part is over 75% of them are in field and grassroots institutions doing work on the ground. That's terrific for us. Being a part of the foundation is a huge advantage and a huge thrill, because there is a very natural field practice and theory and academic connect. So for us it's a very, very smooth and seamless integration of practice and theory and field and academics. The program has significant component of field practice and is woven in the curriculum in such a manner. We have very strong partnerships with a number of grassroots organizations and field organizations that also helps our practice. So I just wanted to spend a minute to say that the curriculum of the programs is woven in such a way that field practice and academics have a seamless integration, and that I think is very important for us. Therefore, I think students who come here with a clear purpose of wanting to contribute to social change will find these 2-year programs very rewarding and very educative. We would love to have these kind of students at our university. We cherish student diversity. We already have a very diverse student population, a number of whom are supported financially, a number of whom are provided academic support. And therefore, to us, student diversity is something that we relish and embrace, and would look upon it as something that enriches our life at the university more than looking at it as any kind of a challenge. So we welcome all students. As you know, graduation in any discipline is fine, and people with work experience are welcome to apply. Good luck and all the best.
The MA program in education has been started by the Azim Premji University. It's a program which is a broad program to help us understand various issues and concerns about education. It's different from a typical MEd program. In fact, it is not the same as an MEd program. First of all, it's a 2-year program. To get admission into this program, you do not have to have a teaching qualification. Any graduation is acceptable to take an entry into this program. What we are looking for students who join this program is that you should have a deep interest in areas about education, in helping the country's education program to improve, in working with education for all, and to really look deeply into what is the process, the sociology and the philosophy of education. I find teaching in this program very exciting. The program curriculum is created in order to help develop both a broad as well as a deep understanding about education, and it is divided into core courses which are common to all the students who enroll into this program, and the courses are centered around philosophy of education, sociology of education, and psychology, including child development and learning, which we believe are really the fundamental areas which are important to understand education. There are courses about education policy and school systems, about curriculum studies, which is very central to the question of education. What do we want to teach? How do we want to teach? These are the questions that will be answered. You will have courses on language and education. These are the core courses. In addition to the core courses, students can choose from a number of electives. There's a fairly wide range of electives that students can choose from based on their interest. There are studies which are related, there are courses which are related to curriculum areas and pedagogy courses, teaching of mathematics, teaching of science, teaching of social science, and about how to train and develop teachers. So that course is called Teacher Professional Development. There is a course on assessment and evaluation. The second set of elective courses comes under the broad area of school leadership and management, and to deal with education policy. Here there are courses which introduce you to the area of school leadership. There are foundations of education change. There's a design for educational change, economics of education, school education system. So there are a number of courses. I'm not reading the whole list. You will find many of these in the website. There are other general courses related to education, early childhood care and education, inclusive education, gender and education, and NGO formation, governance and financing. There is a very wonderful course which many students have taken with a great deal of enthusiasm. This is looking at the thoughts of Gandhi and Tagore, both great thinkers in education who have influenced national policies on education and who are always worth considering deeply when we look at the problems of education in our country. In addition to the core courses and the elective courses, we also have what are called as open courses, which are of shorter credits, and these courses can be very wide. There are courses in art, in literature, in cinema, in archaeology, and students have complete choice in selecting these courses. There is a course which is currently being offered on, which is centered around trees, their evolution, their role in culture, their conservation. I think with all this, we hope that students who enter the university will get both a very strong foundation in their chosen area, that is education studies, but also get a broad opportunity to develop many other interests which will give an all-rounded perspective as well as create a lot of interest and passion towards working, make the experience in the university very joyful, if I may say so. Academically, we are fairly rigorous. Students have a regular semester-wise assessments, which are, we provide assistance, but you are expected to do a sufficient amount of reading and engage with the classroom discussion. Some classes may have lectures, but many lecturers like to interact and help you understand things better. We like that you ask us many questions, so that the classroom becomes a very lively space. At the same time, there is plenty of opportunity to work in the field, in the ground, in actual situations, in schools, with NGOs, both in the government as well as rural areas, with alternate schools. So I think it's a very exciting place to be in, and as students we think that what we want you to come to the university is with an open mind, and I think most of you will also find this as a transformative experience. Many of you may not have experienced this kind of teaching and learning, and it opens up many possibilities for you, in both in the way you think about yourself, about the environment and the situation around you. And all this is with a goal to really work to solve some of the great problems that are there in our country, and to get involved with working at many levels, to make a change, to make a big difference. I can say honestly that so far many students have found the programs exciting, and they've left the program wanting to do some real work, and for me that is deeply satisfying.
For a large part of the 20th century, the dominant model of development was defined by a very narrow set of economic parameters that included things like growth, per capita GNP, capital accumulation, markets, and so on. But gradually, as the 20th century wore on, it became very clear that this dominant idea of development was not very adequate, because there were fresh problems on the horizon. There were issues of sustainability, issues of global warming, issues of destitution, dispossession, land use. So it appeared that the dominant model of development that we had inherited was not answering especially third world countries' concerns. Therefore, something had to change. We had to include a more complex set of variables that would really answer our concerns. And so, really the question became, what is humane development? What is development with the angle of social justice? What is sustainable human development? These questions began to come more and more frequently to our table. The MA Development Program at Azim Premji University is really a complex attempt to respond to this new and shifting paradigm of development, which tries to understand the questions of humane development. The program itself is interdisciplinary in nature. It arrives at the curriculum from a sociological, philosophical. It uses multiple theoretical frameworks, including economics, ecology, and other law and governance, health and nutrition, as well as livelihoods. So there's this huge panoply, large canvas from where development is looked at as a complex, unfolding human story. But even more important is that the fact that the program offers the student engagement with the field. And so the curriculum is supported by field engagement. Throughout the 2 years or 4 semesters of work, you have field placements where students are design their own projects, or they choose to work with field-based institutions, NGOs, as well as the Azim Premji Foundation's own institutes, field institutes. So the students have this possibility of engaging in a wide variety of field-based programs that connects their classroom theoretical understanding with the work in the field. And so, so there is this constant, what's probably the biggest strength of our program, MA development program, is the constant dialogue between what students do in the field, what they understand in the field, how they look at the different variables in the field, and the kind of discussions, dialogues, and discourses that occur in the classroom. So this continual dialectical movement from theory to the field is the basis of the praxis in this program. There's another thing I wish to mention here, that the program also emphasizes diversity. Diversity at all levels. Diversity in the number of viewpoints that we accommodate in the program, theoretically and programmatically. The diversity in the student population. We have students from rural, semi-rural and urban communities. We also have a diverse faculty. Diverse faculty chosen from across the social sciences, humanities, and even pure sciences. So altogether, there is this incredible flowering, I might say, of diversity that we see on campus. So, the MA development program is probably a unity of all this multiple diverse approaches to the field.
Field immersion essentially consists of a 2-week period when students spend time with rural or tribal communities. They stay with families, they stay in schools, they stay in public spaces where they try and understand. It's an exposure and also a space to observe, understand, analyze Indian society. So looking at issues of caste, class, gender, religion, and multiple ways in which these interact with each other. Trying to also understand the way the government and people interact with each other. So going to panchayat meetings, going to different kinds of other spaces where they see this interface between governance, state and citizen. And the other bit is a 6-week internship where they actually try and understand organizations. And their kind of strategies, the kind of intervention models that they've looked at. And these are all projects that the organizations and the student together decide what they'll work on. Usually there is a field mentor who is the point person in the organization who actually helps structure it and helps the student work on it. And there are faculty who support the entire process. There is the final bit, which is an 8-week independent project. The independent project consists essentially of a process where students design their own interventions, design their own maybe business plans, design other kinds of activities which they could implement on the ground in an organization. So students are encouraged also to make a link between the 6-week and the 8-week independent project. So they've understood the context in the 6-week process, and in the 8-week process they're able to take it further. This is essentially what I've been saying about the development program. The education program also has the various chunks. So there is the immersion and there is the bit on understanding systems and intervening in these systems. So it would be with the immersion would be with communities, schools and education departments of the government. And in the case of the actual field work, it could be researches, it could be small interventions, it could be curriculum development, it could be different kinds of other things that they would engage with organizations either working in the field of education or with government agencies that are dealing with education, schools, or any other kind of interventions that are happening in the field of education. So this is what fieldwork looks like at the university. And there is a lot of support, there is a lot of encouragement from faculty and the organizations that we are in touch with to involve students and guide students through this process. It is definitely challenging in terms of languages, in terms of the kind of diversity that you actually encounter in the field. But I think it really is up to the creativity and initiative of the students to overcome these. So fieldwork is not restricted except the practicum, which is an ongoing concurrent thing while your courses are happening. The rest of the fieldwork is anywhere else in the country. So you could go from the northeast to Kashmir to Rajasthan or anywhere in the south of the country. So geographically there are no restrictions on where you can do this fieldwork. And it is a combination of your own interest, what the learning objectives of the university and the program are, and what organizations that you're going to be working with require from the kind of internships and processes